Have you ever wondered what it's like to buy a home in Asheville, North Carolina? I bet you have. And there's lots of media and news reports coming out about the housing market in general, and I want to take you through the true process of what it's really like to buy a home in Asheville. Hi, I'm Beth Schadler with Tried and True Realty powered by eXp, and we are living in Asheville, where we explore what it's like to live, eat, work, sleep, play in Asheville, North Carolina. We help people like you all the time move to the area, so give us a call, shoot us a text or an email, or use the link below to schedule a Zoom session with me. It is my absolute passion and pleasure to help people like you move to the area and find their happy place. So today we have an educational and slightly exciting topic for you all. If you've ever dreamed of buying a home in Asheville, North Carolina, you have come to the right place. In this video, we're going to guide you through the process step by step, covering everything from knowing your budget to moving in your new home. And if you want to learn more about living in Asheville in general, leave us a comment, like, and subscribe to our channel so that you'll be notified every time we make new videos for you. So let's jump right in. Before you start searching for your dream home, it's essential to determine your budget. And I would be glad, well, not so glad, but to hand you a tissue and dry your tears when you find out your dream home is just shy of your limit of affordability. That makes me really sad when that happens. So let's just skip that part and let's find out what your budget actually is. So here are a few steps to help you just do that. So first, take a look at your current financial situation, including your income, your expenses, your savings. This will give you an idea of what you can comfortably afford. Don't forget to consider additional costs that you will incur, like property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. And you can look up what the property taxes would be on certain residences. It's all public knowledge. And in Buncombe County, you pay only the county tax, but if you live in the Asheville city limits, you will pay both the county and the city taxes. And in Asheville, it's not really that expensive compared to other states. So we personally live outside the city limits, and we pay about $1,200 a year. And on most tax bills that I see coming from the city on a median priced home, it's about $3,000 a year. Number two, link up with a lender. There are plenty of lenders that are in Asheville, reputable and ready to rock that I've worked with before that I know and love and trust. And if you want any referrals, let me know. But here's what a lender can do for you. They can create a personalized plan for you to get you in your home quicker. So say your credit score is a little bit low, they can create a credit repair plan for you that will get you in a home like within a year, if it's possible, of course. Or they can just set you up with a plan that lets you know exactly what you need to do, steps A, B, and C, to get that pre-approval, pre-qualification, whatever you need to be ready to rock. Next, you need to know where you want to be. Now, Asheville offers a variety of neighborhoods and communities, each with their own unique charm. And to find the perfect location, consider your lifestyle preferences and priorities. Do you prefer a bustling urban area or a peaceful suburban neighborhood? Do you love yoga, nature, and hiking trails, or breweries, music, and dog parks? How much yard do you want to take care of? Do you really want a garden? Are you driving somewhere every day? So do your research, of course, and research amenities and schools and proximity to your workplace and narrow down your options, and I'd be glad to give you some advice as well. Then you have to figure out what you want. Now, there's a vast range of homes available as well. Or not available, is more based in reality. We don't really have a ton of homes for sale. Inventory is quite limited. So it's essential to determine what you must have and then your deal breakers, and then add in a lot of flexibility in that. So create a list of features that you desire, such as the number of bedrooms and bathrooms and yard size and any other specific architectural style that you prefer. And then this will help focus your search so that we can find a home that matches your preferences. So most people who move to Asheville are interested in Asheville. They want to just move to Asheville. And even though they might not get the home of their wildest dreams, they might find a way to compromise for the increased quality of life and community of friends that Asheville offers. Most of the time, you're so busy out there having a fabulous time, the right baseboard style or driveway finish pales in comparison. So how competitive is it? Well, different price points matter. Buying a home in Asheville can be competitive, especially in popular areas or at certain price points. Higher demand also leads to more competition among buyers. So, however different the price ranges can be, or there's different varying levels of competition, you just have to keep that in mind. Right now, our most competitive price range in Asheville is about $300 to about $650. Remember that the median home price in Asheville is around $550,000. So you have to be ready to go. You have to have your ducks in a row, pre-approval in hand, or cash transferred to the right account before actually beginning to walk through a home. It's really important because it moves that fast. So when you do find that home that you love and you want to submit an offer, I have to submit one of these things with it. So if you're financing, you'll need a pre-qualification letter. Now, this is a good start, but it means that no documentation has been uploaded to the lender to prove credit or debt, so it's less strong than an actual pre-approval letter. A pre-qual letter is designed to help you guide your search, but does not include an in-depth look at your ability to purchase a home. But you can start to make offers with it, and it's typically good for 90 days, and it's only a soft pull on your credit, so it doesn't have a big effect. Now, a pre-approval is even better. A lender reviews your credit report and financial information and everything about your employment, or if you're self-employed, what have you, and you upload documents into their portal or online platform of some way. And this makes your offer stronger because it gives the seller a little bit of reassurance that you've been checked out. Or even better is cash, as we know. So if you are submitting an offer with a cash offer, you're going to have to supply proof of funds. And this could be a bank statement or a savings account that shows where the funds are coming from for a cash sale, or if there's an appraisal gap adjustment. So it shows how much liquid cash you have in order to make the seller feel more comfortable so that you can actually buy the home that you say you can. So just to give you an idea how competitive the market is, there was a home for sale kind of north Asheville in between UNCA and downtown on a cute little street called Ivy Street. And it went up on the market and for like right over $500,000. It had been completely redone. I think it was around 1,300 square feet. I think it was 525 actually. First day on the market had 17 showings. Second day had 2. Third day had none. And the agent was like, that's weird. But here's the deal. They knew day 3 wasn't going to matter at all. Because if you didn't see that house day 1, you were SOL. You got to get in there and you got to get in there quick. And you might have to take a little bit of risk, which I know is uncomfortable. But in this market, you gotta go. So if you're out of town, you need to have someone that you know, like, and trust with boots on the ground that can be right there looking at it, doing a smell test, filming for you, and then we sign a property unseen agreement and you're good to go. So understanding this can help you strategize and adjust your expectations accordingly. Now, don't get me wrong, it's absolutely possible, and more so if you're above the $650,000 range, but you just have to be prepared and have a professional on your side and have studied the market a little bit. And that's where I can help, because I can set you up in a search. So even if you're not ready to move here for a year or two, you can still be kind of looking at the homes directly from the MLS and gauging how much money you think you might want to spend for what you want. And we may submit a few offers before we get ours chosen, and that's okay. I'm an expert negotiator and I'm on your team. So how is North Carolina different when you're considering buying a home? Well, North Carolina has its own unique process and regulations when it comes to buying a home. For example, it's not a title state. So in North Carolina, an attorney typically handles the closing process rather than a title company. And it's crucial to understand these differences when navigating the home buying process. To make sure that it goes smoothly and you're also in compliance with state laws. So pretty much your real estate attorney is a one-stop shop for legal advice, the transfer of title, and the transfer of funds. In North Carolina, we also have an extra really fun deposit called the due diligence deposit, and it's also a time period, but I'll explain that. So most people are used to only one deposit, which is typically called earnest money. But we want to make it extra fun in North Carolina, so in 2011 we introduced due diligence. A due diligence deposit is strongly encouraged and part of the negotiation. The due diligence deposit is non-refundable. That means you have to be willing to let that money go. And this is a deposit that is on the offer to purchase. So people are really looking at that and saying, how much are they really willing to risk? But fear not, this is a credit to you at closing if you stay with the contract. And it is due within 24 hours if your offer is accepted to the sellers, and they can go ahead and cash that money because you're not getting it back unless the sellers back out. So due diligence is also a period of time in North Carolina, which the buyer has the opportunity to conduct their due diligence before deciding to move forward with the purchase of the home. And like I said, it's non-refundable, and it acts as your deposit to reserve your home while you inspect it. It can be anywhere from 1% to 2% of the purchase price, depending on the competition for this particular property. Now, the earnest money check, the second deposit, is written to the closing attorney. The earnest money deposit is usually a bit bigger, but doesn't have to be. It depends on the competition, and typically ranges from 1.5 to 2.5%, but it's all up to the property. And like the due diligence fee, this deposit protects the seller and helps ensure that the buyer is in earnest about purchasing the property before they take it off the market and show a large number of days on market. So if the buyer decides before closing and after the end of the due diligence period that they no longer want to move forward with the purchase of the home, they can walk away for any reason, but they'll lose both their due diligence money and their earnest money if it's after the end of the due diligence period. So it's refundable before the due diligence period. So both of these are credit to you at closing. Now, earnest money and due diligence are not required, but are typically always used when making an offer in North Carolina. And when I represent sellers, I would advise them to absolutely not take an offer without both of these deposits. Now, what should you expect for costs when buying a home? Besides the purchase price of the home, there are several other costs associated with buying a home. We talked about the due diligence fee and the earnest money fee, which you have to have ready to go when you make that offer. And then there are things like the down payment, which will be due at closing, and the closing costs and the appraisal fees, which usually the lender charges you for. Home inspections, you're responsible for, and homeowners association fees and homeowners insurance. So being aware of these costs up front will prevent any surprises along the way. So if your offer gets accepted, you will most likely, not required, but really strongly encouraged to do a home inspection. Now, depending on the size and the age of the home, inspections are suggested, like I said, but not mandatory. And all of the prices that I'm quoting are just approximate, and they can change year to year and season to season and company to company and house to house, depending on the age of the house and the location and how big it is. So take it with a grain of salt. These are just estimates. So once we find the home, we normally have a home inspection within the first week. The cost is anywhere from $425 to $800, depending on the size and type of house. So then you can add on a termite inspection if there's a wood exterior, or a radon test if there's a basement. In North Carolina, you might want to get radon even if there's not a basement. If you have a septic tank, you want to probably get it pumped and get it inspected. If you have a well on the property, you probably want to get that well inspected and maybe even the quality of the water tested. Now, surveys are not normally required in order to close on a home, but they are recommended if there's any kind of questions or concerns about property lines or easements or structure locations. And prices for surveys can vary depending on the property and how long it takes and things like that. I hate to even give a quote on that because it varies so much on demand, but usually surveyors book out months ahead of time, so it's not the easiest route. So once your financial paperwork is submitted with your lender, they will order the appraisal, and this is paid for typically by the lender, but they charge you somehow for it. In a seller's market, it's important to understand that if the property appraises for less than the purchase price, actually it's less than the loan amount, then the buyer is typically required to make up the difference in cash. So be prepared for that in a competitive market. So how long does it take from start to finish? Well, it depends on you, depends on the market, depends on the availability of homes, but the timeline for buying a home can vary. And on average, it takes about 30 to 60 days from you start the search, you're going out house hunting, you're at it, you're rocking it, you find a house, and you close anywhere from 30 to 40 to 45 days. That's pretty normal. However, this can be influenced by factors like the complexity of the transaction, market conditions, the mortgage approval process. So be prepared for a timeline that may fluctuate. Don't make any big, solid plans. So normally the North Carolina due diligence period is from 2 to 3 weeks, and then closing is about 4 to 5 weeks, start to finish, after your offer is accepted. But everything is negotiable, and the shorter the better, usually for sellers at least. So when can you move in? That's the big question, right? Like, forget all the rest. Let's just move on in. After the closing process is complete, you'll receive the keys to your new home. What? What does that mean exactly? When is the closing process complete in North Carolina? Well, it's when the deed is recorded with a Register of Deeds office, not when you sign the papers at the attorney's office. In so many TV shows, you see the keys being handed over after the papers are signed, and that's just not how it works here. In North Carolina, you sign the papers, and then they electronically file them, and then after they are recorded, the key can be handed over and you're allowed to occupy the home. Before this, unless with special permission, which I do not suggest, as anything could happen, you cannot move anything onto the property at all. Congratulations! You're now equipped with the knowledge to embark on your new home buying journey in Asheville. Remember to know your budget, determine the preferences, stay informed about the local real estate market, work with a pro, and when you're ready to rock and your home pops up, you got this. And we're here to help you. So hit that subscribe, send us an email, send us a text, and we'll walk you straight through the process until you are sitting on your patio having a nice drink with an umbrella in it. Promise. Until then, ciao for now.